Hello, welcome to the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. I'm Justin.
I'm Carl.
And I'm Peter.
And joining us as we look ahead to the game against Birmingham, Watford legend, and Birmingham legend, but more Watford, I would say, Tommy Mooney. Hello, how are you?
How are we, fellas? Okay, nice to see you all.
Very good, very
Lovely
good.
to see you. In so many ways. I'm going to start this off because obviously people should know that everybody obviously remembers Tommy for 99 and the playoff final. There was another playoff final for another club, and he's very, very well versed with. So for getting an opposition view, we're this is tremendous. I'm going to ask a question, and it's to all three of you, but principally it's to Justin and Carl. What do you think the following four men have in common? Brendan Rodgers, Jurgen Klopp, Brian McDermott, and Ange Postecoglou. There's one thing that they've all got in common. Any idea what that might be?
I haven't got a clue.
Shall I tell you?
Tell us.
Their assistant manager at one point was Chris Davis, current manager of Birmingham City. Because a lot of people might turn around and go, Chris Davis, who the heck is he? Well, he's the guy who they bought in from as an assistant manager at Tottenham at one stage. In last season, they went through and won League One, came through. He's performed very well. Most importantly, of course, he's born in Watford. Just saying, just making a connection there. Tommy, Chris Davis, tell us a little bit about how we did last season and how everybody's taken to him at the current venue of St Andrews.
Yeah, he's obviously done extremely well since he came in, his first managerial appointment. Chris has come in and made very clear what he wants, what the style of footballer he wants, very fast-paced, attacking, possession-based. And obviously they had a record-breaking season last year that arguably will never be beaten, the success that they had. And then they've come into the Championship, started well, had a little bit of a sticky patch like the vast majority of Championship teams have had up to this stage already.
Yeah.
But certainly playing a very, very easy on the eye style of football. Perhaps at times struggle to break down when teams come and put 8 and 9 men behind the ball because of that possession-based style. It's perhaps almost a Man City style Championship version.
Okay.
Because they do really move the ball around well. They had a little sticky patch where they couldn't score goals and they were conceding them, but they are a really good team to watch and a really strong side in this division.
Absolutely. Well, he from his overall arching 77 games, 51 wins, 12 draws and 14 defeats. But of course, in League One, some people will say that, Birmingham were the big dog and they came through and proved it with the results, which gives him 2.14 points per match. But this season overall, he's still doing very well, especially at home, with 7 games at home. And of course, don't forget, it is St Andrews will be going to. Out of 7 games, 4 wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat, an average of 2 points per game. Whereas if we look at the away, and don't forget, we're facing Birmingham again on the 1st of January, only a month after, 8 games away, only 2 wins, 1 draw and 5 defeats, 0.88 points per match. And if you look at the goals scored, at home 15, conceded 6, away scored 5, conceded 11. Is that kind of problem away from home something to do with the St Andrews kind of atmosphere and kind of pushing on everybody? We've spoken with you about the St Andrews atmosphere before.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they are a very different side at home. It was the fortress. Obviously, they've had 1 defeat now. 3 or 4 times they've scored in the closing minutes of a game in injury time to either win a game or get a point. So it's that constant and consistent pressure that the Birmingham supporters put on the players. The players have stood up to the task so far. So yes, at home and St Andrews at Knighthead Park, they are formidable. Away from home, they've conceded sloppy goals, but always been better in the second and started the second half an awful lot better. So it seems. So yeah, listen, they're a tough side, and Chris Davis is arguably the most erratic manager in his technical area. He must cover 15,000 steps during a game because he is very, very demanding and very directional for his team.
Fantastic. You mentioned Knighthead Park, which is of course the new name for what we know as St Andrews, and that absolute cavernous atmosphere. Obviously, as we record, which is the day prior to our game against Derby, it's just been kind of announced in terms of the potential move to the new stadium with a rather interesting design with the chimney supposed to be there to kind of reflect the the dynamic of the city and its industrial heritage.
It looks like a birthday cake, Peter. It's
Cool.
bizarre.
Well, who knows? I think
very
it looks
clever. It's very clever if that is how it's going to be.
I think it looks rather excellent personally, because it is different, and there are so many football teams and clubs who now have these kind of almost homogenized bowls that all look the same. This looks really distinctive and different. What's been the sort of reaction, and what's been your thoughts in terms of what this could do for Birmingham? Because they've got a massive supporter base, but is a 60,000 seater viable, do you reckon, Tommy?
They sell out at 27,500 every week. Always been the same, really. Even in the tough times, they sold every ticket they could sell, because obviously they had a lot of construction work at St Andrews.
Yeah.
But since Knighthead have come in, they've done everything they said they were going to do. They've done, and they make it a really strong. When you guys come up for the game, you'll see the atmosphere is not. It's almost like they've taken away the history of everybody going to their own pub or wherever they go, and then come to the ground for kickoff. The ground's packed from 1 o'clock. So the fan parks outside are full of Blue Noses. So they have live bands on, everything in the fan parks. And it just makes it a match day experience, which is very American. We see it with, they all have their trailer picnics, don't they, in NFL games. And it is very American, but it's the positive side of American sport that Tom Wagner and his team at Knighthead have brought. So, yeah, I think it's easy to say the money that they spent, they were guaranteed success last season. But having the record season they had is because they've got everything together. The recruitment team are finally buying good players. On and off the pitch, everything is going in the right direction. But what we also know is the Championship's the toughest division across Europe for me. Most entertaining, but it is the toughest division to get out of. Certainly not going to be the walkover that they had last season, but that was down to the way that, the intensity of Chris Davies' style of football is really good to watch. And obviously you add that to the atmosphere. I don't really know what the reaction's been, because the stadium was only revealed yesterday and everybody saw it at the same time. But I have watched the presentation of it, and, Tom Wagner talks about creating an atmosphere with, the very steep stands, so you still get the atmosphere that you get now at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. We look at the pictures of it there, it looks fine, doesn't it? Yes, the chimneys are very different, but it's part of the Birmingham culture.
My favourite feature is there is a bar at the top of one of those chimneys.
Is there really?
Yeah, what? I read about it today. There's like a bar that you can overlook it all.
Oh wow! So it'll have a kind of a platform to look out over Birmingham, which is
exactly.
The joke writes itself. But one of the things that Tom Wagner said was about the fact that they know and they knew that Birmingham can do with the city centre in terms of development. He said, but if there wasn't that space there, we wouldn't be able to do this, and this could be utterly transformational for the city centre, couldn't it?
It can be, and it's because of the public transport in and out of the city, that's all going to be improved at the cost of Knighthead Group. So I think for the city it's fabulous. Yeah, you could argue 60,000 is a lot, but for all of the other sporting events and pop events, music events and everything else, you need a big stadium. So why not have the country's best stadium outside of London? It's a why not. And there's always, the team from down the road that play in Claret and Blue, they've got a really nice stadium, but it's an old stadium.
Yeah.
They've got 40,000. They've had many events and even international tournament games there, rugby and football. So I think they want to take that little bit of notoriety away from the nearest rivals, and why not?
I think it looks genuinely, I appreciate everybody's going to have an instant reaction to it because it's a bit of a statement picture of it, but it looks iconic. It does bring it back in, and there are so many now, whether or not, I don't know whether you look at the Middlesbrough's ground or Stoke's ground, which is, it's a football stadium. It's very good. It's very functional, but as a point of view of looking at it externally, it doesn't. It's just homogenized, as I say. It's just general. Whereas this really feels like something. Excellent stuff. Well, I'm looking forward to this because I think that could be really something. I do love the way, although, that Carl immediately picks out the important information and goes straight to the fact that there's a bar at the top of one of those towers.
I've done my research, so don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's the priority. I like the way you're prioritizing this. In terms of Chris Davis and how he's kind of lining up, if we just take a look at the most recent game as of at this moment in time, which was prior to the international break, and it was going up to Middlesbrough, this must have been a nightmare of a game for Birmingham to go to, because the whole of Middlesbrough was unified about, obviously, Rob Edwards leaving and going on, and therefore it was there. But is this kind of the 4-2-3-1 with Stansfield possibly in behind? Is it Dukes or maybe Dykes on occasion? I've seen that Furuhashi was being used earlier on in the season. Is that 4-2-3-1 what you come to see quite a lot of?
Yeah, that's essentially the shape that they'll always use. I think I covered the Middlesbrough game. I was at our game on the Friday night against Bristol, and then went up to Middlesbrough on the Saturday. Right. And the big problem that they had was overcoming the injury to Paik in the opening minute of the game. Brought Mark Leonard in to play with Doyle in the holding midfield, but Paik gives them so much. So that was a big loss to them. But Dux he's a big target man, but he's a very good footballer. So he'll swap and change with Stansfield. Stansfield will go in behind at times when they do look for to create with teams that push up high and defend a really high line. Stansfield's got the pace to go in behind, but what they have on both flanks, Patrick Roberts is an outstanding player in this division, and Dimmy Gray's he's won the Premier League, so he's a decent player himself.
Yeah.
So they create so many opportunities, and when they're playing well, that's what you get from them: creating opportunities, ball in goal scoring areas, and with Neumann and Clara, who are their centre-back pairing, they're really, really strong down the middle of the pitch. So, yeah, it's a key aspect of the way Chris Davies play. And that particular team, they've obviously got injuries, and they've brought Beadle in and swapped in with Allsop in goal. And Kyogo, they brought him in as a goal scorer, and he's a fabulous little footballer. He's just not got off the mark yet, and you can see he's not playing with much confidence. So Dux and Lyndon Dykes have been the ones that have come in and played in that 9 role, if you like.
Yeah, he's a really good technical player. He was very good at Celtic, but obviously there's different, as you say. The championship can be an unforgiving mistress to try to be doing things in. So we will see how that goes. I think Stansfield obviously was a statement signing last season, and absolutely has paid back everything in terms of everything going back in there. But it'll be an interesting game when we come to it. What we will do then, before we get to some predictions, if that's okay, I wonder, Tommy, if you might like to, when you came down and were fantastic with us for our big night out. Nigel Gibbs and Tommy Mooney took on Carl at Mastermind, and needless to say, Carl did indeed end up last, which is let's face it.
I think there was a stitch up on that night, but
no, it was a position you're very comfortable with, and I think that's only reasonable. What we're going to do, we're going to ask you to play for Birmingham, and we're going to ask Carl to play for Watford, and we're going to play host with the most, because we're going to be honouring the fact that Tommy has played for both Watford and Birmingham, a foot in both camps, but you're not the only player to have done so. What I'm going to do is we're going to go with a 5 penalty shootout, and we're going to be playing a game called Host with the Most. I'm going to show you a picture of a player, and I'm going to want you to let me know, did he play more games, do you think, for Watford or for Birmingham? And don't worry, you're up against Carl, which means obviously stupidity is on its way very soon, if not imminently. Let's go to the first one. 5 penalties each. Which team did the subject play more for? We're going to go to Tommy first of all. Martin Tiny Taylor. Did he play more for Watford or more for Birmingham? Tommy Mooney.
I'm going to go more for Birmingham for Tiny.
He's gone with it.
Ooh,
90 for Watford, 99 for Birmingham. That's a goal for Tommy for Birmingham. We turn to Carl, walking ruefully up to this. We're recreating the 99F playoff semi-final here. This is good. I just realised that. Okay, Carl. Josh.
Who's
this?
off.
Who is this?
Hang on.
What? It's nice and simple, Carl. All you need to say is he Watford or did he play more for Birmingham?
I will say Birmingham because he was only on loan to us, I'm fairly sure.
Well, quite a lot of these players who feature in this aren't legends like Tommy. They're players who tend to be kind of journeymen. Josh has moved around a lot. In this instance, though, it was a close one. 7 for Watford, 10 for Birmingham. 10 for Birmingham. It's 1-1. We turn back to Tommy Mooney, penalty taker par excellence. Lloyd Dyer. More for the Hornets or more for the Blues?
That's got to be Watford, I would have thought.
He's going Watford. It's not.
He's put it over the bar.
He only played 16 games for Watford because he fell out, if you remember, with Sanino. And we all remember when we beat Rotherham 2-0, he scored and he then went over and gave both barrels to Sanino, which was quite amusing. Well, Carlos, you've got a chance. Got a chance to sneak ahead here. Diego Fabrini. Did he play more? You can see what I mean about journeyman players on occasions here.
I'm going to say he didn't play a lot for any team while in England, but I'll say he played more for Birmingham.
He's saying Birmingham. 25 for Watford, 28 for Birmingham. He was one of those players who would come along and really impress in his first games. I remember the people at Middlesbrough being absolutely thrilled with him. The same thing with the guys at St Andrews. And then I think the physicality of the English game sort of let him down a little bit. That's Justin. Are we 2-1 to Carl?
We are, yeah.
God. Sorry, I'm just aghast myself. So we turn back to Tommy. Ken Charlery, did he play more for Birmingham or more for Watford? Obviously, everybody knows him more as a Peterborough man, but he had stints at both. Where did he play most?
I'm uncertain, but because he would have played, if judging by that kit, he'd have played for Barry Fry.
Yep.
I'm thinking probably had 10 other strikers at the same time. So I'm going to say that Ken played more for Watford.
Fantastic. You cannot dismiss the logic there. We had Peterborough down last season with the under-21s, and I went over and said hello and had a chat with Barry. He was absolutely great fun, I have to say. Yes, absolutely. That's a penalty, good and proper there for Tommy. Will Buckley, Carlos. Will Buckley.
I loved Will Buckley while he was with us. I thought he was great.
Did you?
I did. I thought he was good fun to watch. Will Buckley.
He was really good fun to watch.
He went to Brighton. He went to Brighton, left us with Brighton, I think. Anyway, as you were.
He did. It was late in his. Okay. I literally shot in the dark here. I'll go Watford. Oh, thank you.
39 for Watford, only 10. Because, of course, some of these things will have been loans. That's fine. 3-2 still to Carl now. We go back to Tommy. Look, this is a player that you know well, sir. But did he play more for Watford in the early stages? Yes, all right. Or more at the Blues? Kevin Phillips.
I think Kev was only at Blues for one season. So, I mean, he wasn't with us long. And when he was there, he didn't play in the team for long before he went to Sunderland. I'm going to suggest more for Watford.
He played more for Watford. 59 for Watford.
Oh, my gosh.
69 for Blues. Amazingly. Yes, he did. And he, of course, he played in a lot of teams in and around the Midlands. But no, that's another one there. So your chance to go 4-2 up, Carl, in the never known opportunities previously.
Let's
Jordan Much.
Until you give me that. Brilliant.
I'm just saying. Are you saying you don't know much? See what I did there?
You.
I've not improved on any of the punchlines, Tommy. You'll be pleased to know.
I'm sure he was only on loan at Watford, and I'm fairly sure his career he pretty much started at Birmingham. I'll say Birmingham, and I don't even know why I'm saying that, but I'll just go with Birmingham.
It's a big call.
23.
Oh, he's done it. Get in there.
You've been dead-eyed with this. This is incredible stuff.
I've upped my game because there's obviously Tommy Mooney on the end of this. So.
Well, I appreciate it. This is like playing everybody's cup final every time it comes to you, Tommy. This is no good at all, is it? Marlon King, more for the Blues, more for the Hornets, Tommy.
Definitely more for Watford.
Got to be in it.
Look at that. He's not mucking about with that one. 81 for the Hornets, 31 for the Blues. But, of course, still shouted every time he scored a goal. Jerome Sinclair.
This is a tough one because he was shocking for us, and I didn't even bother watching him go to Birmingham.
Wasn't he with us forever? Is that the player who was with us forever and ever?
He had a few seasons, but he didn't feature much because it was Premier League, wasn't it?
So, yeah, he had a massive long contract, but played about Well, I won't say how many he played, but it didn't seem like many.
Yeah, it weren't a lot. It can't have been a lot. But I know what this is going to be. This is going to be one of those he appeared as a substitute 394 times. I'll just say, because I don't think he played a lot for us. I'll go Birmingham.
Oh no!
I've made a boo-boo.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't made a boo-boo whatsoever. In fact, we have had half points made previously, and I think that's all very good indeed. I think we can declare that a draw and honours even. Well done,
well, hang on. That was 4-3 to moi.
It was 4-3.
Oh, damn. 4-3. Cole's won.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's unfortunately. It's going to be insufferable now.
That,
even more insufferable than usual.
Yeah, sorry, Tommy.
Tommy saw me take a penalty at half time at Watford before, so he probably thought he was going to.
Oh yes,
he was going to do very well.
Wasn't that Boxing Day? Was that Boxing Day?
I think it was Boxing Day. Yeah, I can't remember, but they weren't real footballs. They were like beach balls.
You say penalty. It wasn't really. It wasn't.
No,
ballooned effort. Really, it wasn't very good. Never mind. Oh well, in that case, more points for DNSYE on the host with the most league. This is very good. I can feel some post editing coming on that. That'll be good. Right.
Do not scratch your eyes.
Tommy, sir, we're going to be coming to St Andrews, Knighthead Park, as you now describe it there. What do you think the score is likely to be? Because you're playing for the EFL, and the EFL are currently in this particular league in joint second place. DNSYE, Justin and Carl are lingering down the bottom end. Not to worry about that. What do you think the score is going to be when Watford come to Birmingham?
I would go, and just because I've got a foot in both camps, you can expect
it's going to be a draw, isn't it?
But I think it'll be a 2-2 draw.
Oh, it's a Desmond.
It's a 2-2. I've done look at this
graphic, Peter.
Hold on. I'm so pleased. It's a Desmond Tutu, everybody. Lovely stuff. I like that very much indeed. Well, not only that, I have to say, the Patreons have put in a forecast, and they have also gone for 2-2. But they've actually ended up coming up with their own graphic, which is much better than mine. So I like that.
Very good.
Desmond Tutu featuring very heavily once again with Do Not Scratch Your Eyes. Carlos, Justin, what do you think the score's going to be? You've got to try and get yourself off the bottom of the table.
Well, they look pretty good at home, don't they, Carl, from what we've heard?
They do, yeah. They do. These are the make breaks. So we can't go for a draw because we've got to try and catch up.
Yeah, but do you think we're going to win?
I think Birmingham might do us, actually.
So what are you going to say?
2-1 Birmingham.
All right, we'll go 2-1 Birmingham, Peter.
I do like the fact that you're supposed to both be in this, but basically every time we go to it, Justin basically bullies Carl into telling him what he thinks the score's going to be.
No, that's fine. But who's going to score the 1, Carlos?
Yeah, great question.
It's a great question.
Imran.
Yeah, Imran. He's on fire, isn't he, Imran?
Backgammon FC have gone 2-1 to Watford, primarily because Brett tries to get his dog to blink.
Right, Birmingham versus Watford. Right, Birmingham are at home. Listen, Luna. Oi, Luna, listen. Oh, look. What's the score for Birmingham? Blink for Birmingham. 1. That's 1 for Birmingham. What about for Watford? How many blinks? No blinks? None at all? 2? Is that 2 blinks? 2-1 to Watford? All right. Thanks very much. Thanks for your cooperation. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, here we go. Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast. Just about to do my first live opening of the letterbox. This one is the first box to be opened, and it will therefore be, because it's for the Birmingham City away game, it will be Birmingham City's score. So here we go. Anticipation. Two. There are 2. Let me just turn them over like I normally do for the pictures. 2 letters. So that's Birmingham City 2. Well, here we are, an hour or so later. Temperatures dropped, so I've switched to my official Royal Mail beanie. I'm here at my second post box, so This will be Watford's score. Here's our box. This is the King Charles box, the newest box. Open her up. 2 letters. Turn them over just for privacy's sake. 2 letters. So that's a Desmond. Watford 2, Birmingham 2.
Tommy, as always, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and we love you coming on the podcast, and we're always grateful to you for giving us some of your time. So thank you very much for coming on once again, Tommy Mooney.
Thanks very much. Always nice to see you. See you soon.
Cheers, Tommy.
Cheers, Tommy. Thank you.
Do not scratch your eyes.